Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Uncanny Spirits Club. I hope you guys are enjoying the new intro. It's still new to me making these videos, even though these are far in the future now. But yeah, a little bit of a hangnail there. What do I have for you tonight? A couple episodes ago, I did the Calumet Farms, and it was a pretty expensive bottle, $149.99 here in Ohio. But it was a fantastic experience. It wasn't just like a drink; it was something you went through. It was an event. It was very nice. Well, I got something else that's up in that price range. Again, outside of my usual norm. I usually don't spend this kind of stuff on stuff that's going to end up in the toilet, figuratively and literally after it works its way through. I'm trying to spend that much, but this caught my eye, and it was kind of one of those. If I don't do it, I'll probably never get the chance to. So, this is Whistlepig, 12-year Old World Rye. And it might be the oldest rye I've ever had, whereas the Calumet Farms was the oldest bourbon I'd ever had. It was 16 years, I believe. And this is 12 years. This is, let's see what the proof on here is. 43%, so 86 proof. Yeah, and it looks pretty interesting. It tells you what casks it was finished in. It's wine cask finished. And this was, I'm almost ashamed to say so, $159.99 at my local store here in Ohio. So again, way outside my usual price range. I'm kicking myself almost for buying 2 bottles up in that price this year already. And I got to watch myself. I can't just be spending money like that like all the time. So, but I'm looking forward to seeing how this is. I've had a Whistlepig before. I don't remember which kind I had, but it was decent, and it's probably on the list here somewhere. But let me put the banner up here too. Pardon me, the little ticker that you see on the bottom here. If I can, there. I'm looking at the screen over there, and the camera's here, and the cat's over here. So anyway, yeah, I'm looking forward to trying this because I haven't had a rye this old before. I'm coming around to rye. Rye is probably one of my favorite kinds of bourbon, or rye whiskey. I guess it's not technically bourbon, but it is technically bourbon. One of these days, I'm going to do a master class on like what is the difference between rye whiskey, bourbon, American whiskey, etc., and all that other stuff. Like what makes it this and what makes it that. So this is a really light color too. It's like a very light honey color. And let me block out the porch light while I'm at it. I forgot to do that. I'm all over the place right now. So nice little light cork pop. Smells like a rye so far from the bottle. Getting some alcohol fumes. Pour that here. And it is really light. Like there's a smidge of water in this glass just for the chemical reaction, but it is really like the bottle is a little darker now that I've got it out in this glass. It looks almost like an Irish whiskey as far as the coloration goes, which is a surprise for being 12-year-old. I'm super, super surprised by that. And it's giving me some hefty ethanol fumes. There's some rye in there, but it smells like it's more alcohol than it is. It's hard to say what the smell is like. It doesn't smell bad. There's some sweetness in there. It doesn't smell necessarily like a rye. So it doesn't have that spice to it. Oh, there it kind of is. There it is. It smells almost like mouthwash. Like a spicy, like not really a mint mouthwash, but like a alcohol mouthwash. That might not be the best. That might not be the best description now, or the best like harbinger of what is to come here. Some good tone on the glass here as you swirl it around. Nice viscosity there. So let's see what this is like. Let's see if it lives up to that price point. Mm. There's rye. It has a rye flavor. But it also kind of has a dish soap flavor. It tastes like what it smells like when I'm washing dishes with the detergent that I use. But there is an alcohol underlying, and there is a rye taste in there. And it's not super heavy, like it's not smacking you in the mouth really with that soap flavor, but it's in there. It is in there. And it clings. It clings in the mouth after you've swallowed a little bit. It's hanging around. Maybe a little bit of apples in there. I'm not sure how I feel about this, honestly. I'm not sure it's worth $159, but let me see. I'll do another one now that my palate's taking the brunt of it. Yeah, second sip didn't really help much. It tastes like dishwashing detergent. The way the dishwashing detergent smells when you're washing a dish, when you first put it on a sponge and you start scrubbing a dish, if you're doing your dishes by hand. Yeah. There is some rye in there. And then there's a lot of bitterness and sourness at the very end. Not a lot of heat. A lot of alcohol numbing in the mouth, which if there was a really good flavor, that'd be a nice accompaniment, but I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. Now I have to wonder what to do with this. Obviously, I'm going to drink it because I'm not going to let something with that price point go to waste. I'm not going to dump it down the sink or anything. But this is not something I would reach for when I was looking for a good rye whiskey. Dish soap, dishwashing detergent. That's what it reminds me of. And there's so much of that no matter what else comes afterwards, no matter what other rye kind of flavors that follow that up, that hits my brain, and that's it. Like full stop. It doesn't consider anything else. Nope. Not really a big fan. So I'm gonna do some experiments, maybe. Some experiments this week to see if it will mix well. I'll have to see if I can mix it into an old fashioned or something like that, if it'll mix well with some bitters. Because I'm not getting the sensation that this is something that I want to drink straight up too often. It's just not doing it for me. and it clings. It clings in the mouth. It leaves a film, which normally I'd say it's real viscous, real kind of oily, and oily not necessarily in a bad way, but this just kind of, because the flavor is lacking, because the flavor is something that's not entirely pleasant to me, it's not doing good. Dishwashing detergent. Dishwashing detergent. I'm kind of disappointed. And maybe it's just my palate. Everybody has different taste buds, and everybody tastes things slightly different. And this is clearly not for me. I've liked other Whistlepig things. I think I had their 6-year-old rye, and I liked it. I enjoyed it. And it didn't give me anything like what this is. Now, let's examine why that might be the case. It's wine cask finished. It says it's Old World Rye. It's Canadian rye whiskey. And it's aged in 63% Madeira casks, 30% Soderness casks, and 7% port casks. And it could be the combination of casks that they used. And they have a little story in the back that's kind of difficult to read, but it talks about how they chose the casks and all that. And they obviously put a lot of thought and care into that. And they were obviously impressed when they tasted the finished product. Finished, not finish, as in, from Finland, but the finished product. But I'm not getting it. This obviously was not meant for my palate. Now, as I'm sitting here and I'm letting it settle, I am getting some traces of citrus and some orange. And Whistlepig makes a bottled orange old-fashioned, where they use orange bitters and that kind of thing, and they lean on the orange zest to make an old-fashioned that is more citrusy than the normal one. And so perhaps if I were to use this as a base and make my own orange old-fashioned here at home, it might be something decent. But as it is, straight up, I can't get past that dish soap, that dishwashing liquid detergent taste. Yeah. I don't know. It's just not for me. So at the price point, I'm kind of disappointed in myself for just like firing off on that and not considering it beforehand. Because that's a lot to spend for something you don't like. Lesson learned. But what was this, once again, if you're tuning in late? Whistlepig 12-year Old World Rye. As they would say on a certain car show, on that bombshell, or on that terrible disappointment. That's it. So, if you have thoughts about this, if you have had this, if any of you folks have had this, leave me a comment and tell me what you think about it, what you're tasting, and I'll try to consider what you're tasting and maybe give it a few more tries and see if I can tease out some of those positive traits. Because I'm not liking it. And at $159.99, $160 for this bottle, that's a lot for not enjoying what I'm having in my mouth here. Okay. So that's all I got for you. And like I said, on that terrible disappointment, it's time to end. So I will catch you guys next time. This was episode 60. And I don't know what I'm going to have in the future, but we'll find out when we get there. So Till next time, cheers.